Degiro is an online stockbroker. It's by far the cheapest software I've seen available in Europe. Here you can see some of the examples when compared to other stockbrokers in Ireland. As you can see, by far they're much cheaper. This is if you're buying individual stocks. For example, if you're buying €1,000 worth of Bank of Ireland shares, you would save 91% when compared to other platforms. They also have different options. For example, if you're buying some of the popular ETFs, you would save 90 or sometimes 100%. An interesting fact is some ETFs on the Euro are actually free to buy in terms of like you just pay the fee of the ETF, like how much it is. You don't pay like a transaction fee, which is great. Which on most of these platforms, you pay a transaction fee, and some of them are extremely high. Before we get into the tour, a bit of a background to my investment kind of ideas or what I do is I've been using Degiro for about 2.5 years now. I've invested a significant amount of money with the platform. I mostly invest in ETF/index funds. An ETF or exchange traded fund is basically a group of stocks and many companies that are combined into one. Instead of buying individuals, you buy a very, very small piece of a company in that ETF. An example would be the S&P 500 ETF. It's a group of the top 500 market caps companies in the US stock exchange. These include Apple, Google, Microsoft. There's also energy companies, oil companies, like all of the basically the biggest 500 companies on the US stock exchange. I do buy certain individual stocks. That's mostly for fun, or maybe I particularly like what the company is doing. For example, Shopify, I like what they're doing. But most of the time, I buy blue chip stocks. Basically, companies that have been around hundreds of years, or like for example, like banks or like large tech companies have been around, like IBM. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get started with a tour of the platform. So I am signed into my Degiro dashboard here. Before you get here, right, you will need to register for an account. At this current time, because of the situation in the world, there is actually a very long waiting list. You can click the register button on the homepage. You provide your email, and Degiro will email you when you can join. Once you are able to register with Degiro, you will need to digitally sign some documentation, provide some ID, possibly a passport or an identity card. This will usually take a few days, but once it's all confirmed, you can start depositing money. Degiro will give you a very specific instructions on where and how to send this money. The most important thing is to make sure you add the reference they tell you to, otherwise they don't know who to credit your account. They basically ask you to reference your username probably, and once you reference that, they know to deposit it into your account. After another few days, you'll get an email saying that your funds are deposited, and you can sign in and start trading. So this is the platform. This is the 2020 version of the platform. They've done a lot of improvements to it, but this is the homepage, right? I've blurred out some of my actual stock stuff because I don't think it's important. I can go through that in another video if you want it, but for now, but you can see like the biggest losers to say. The most important sections are this, because you can see some updates, like for example, Disney Plus recently passed the 15-minute mark, so you can check how it's affecting the stock price. Here you can also access other kind of like your activity, your products, and also your portfolio. I will go through my portfolio probably in a different video, but for today, I kind of want to focus on how to actually purchase an ETF, right? So once you find a stock or ETF that you want to purchase, you can use the search button here. Like you can search for an ETF. So for example, the one that we mentioned earlier, the S&P 500, you can see there's actually quite a lot of them. The reason why there's quite a lot of them is that some of these exist on certain markets, like the US market, the European one. One thing I will mention is you might not be able to buy an ETF you read about online, mainly because most US domiciled ETFs, which means that they're based in the US, are actually not available for you to purchase, at least in Ireland. There was a change in the law over a year ago that basically means most of these ETFs are not available to purchase in Europe because the people that are running these ETFs haven't provided the necessary documentation, and they won't, to be honest with you. It's a lot of hassle for kind of a small market. But one popular ETF that most people like to invest in is this one, is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Now, does that mean you can't purchase this ETF because most people want to purchase this one? I would say no, because you can buy another one that's very similar that traces it. Traces it basically means that it mostly copies what the US ETF does in terms of investments, but it's domiciled somewhere outside the US. For example, the one that I invest in is this one. It's called iShares Core S&P 500. This is domiciled actually, I think, in Ireland, but it's based on it's on the Italian stock exchange. But this basically traces the Vanguard one, and the prices are extremely similar. Like they're maybe a few euro more or less. But basically, these are the exact same stock, but allows you to purchase it. So you're not actually blocked from not purchasing any of it. Next, I'm going to bring you through how to purchase one of these and the purchasing process and some of the buying options you have. Okay, so you found the ETF you want to buy. Your money has been deposited. How do we actually purchase one of these ETFs? When do you find an ETF? So this I'm recording this on a bank holiday, so I think the market might be closed. But either way, I'll show you how to purchase it. You'll see a stock like this. You can buy or sell. So you can click buy. This will bring up an order button. One thing you need to take into an account is that there's many different ways of buying a stock, right? These are the main three, right? Limit means only buy the stock when it reaches this limit, like when it reaches this amount. For example, let's say we wanted to buy this stock at 253 and we wanted to buy two of them, right? If it reached that level, if it actually, this stock is at the moment is at 254, let's say we think it's going to go down to 253. When it reaches that level, it will purchase two of them. Now, you might not want to wait for that. So another one is market. This basically means purchase me two of the same stock at the current market price. And basically, it will just try to execute the order as quick as possible. Stop limit is basically, it's like a range. You basically can limit and then you don't buy any more after that. And you can, I don't really use this option. I mostly use these first two. But for this video, I am just going to go through briefly both of them, right? So I'll go in a market order. When you choose market, you'll say the number. So I'll just buy one for now. And you under this, you will have a day order or a good to close order. A day order means that it will, at the end of the day, if this stock hasn't executed, it will just remove the request or remove your request for that, and you have to try again tomorrow. Good to go means that, or good to close, let's say, means that it will execute whenever. It will execute today, tomorrow, next week, whatever. You need to be careful with these options. Most of the time, I go with day order, and then all you need to do is click place order. A confirmation will come, and you click confirm. I won't purchase this stock right now because I want to show you the other way. The other way is limit, like I described earlier, right? So limit, I am going to check. I'm going to try buy this at 253. Now this might be a bit unrealistic, but let's give it a go. I will buy four of them, and the total comes to about €1,000. I will do a day order. I will place the order, and I will click confirm. So now your order has been successfully placed, right? Now you can click view order. This will bring you to your current outstanding orders, right? So you can also see your history. You can see your transactions, your account statements, and stuff like that. Basically, when it gets executed, this will disappear from here, and you will have a new version of that stock, and you will see it under your portfolio section. That's basically how you purchase an ETF on Degiro, and that's all I wanted to go through in today's video. I hope you enjoyed this 2020 version Tour of Degiro. If you would like to know anything or would like me to bring you through any sort of investment videos, leave them in the comments. I'll try to reply as quick as possible. Or have any questions about Degiro, let me know. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.